They have until, was it 10 days from now, the 23rd?
Yep.
To decide what they're doing with the college football playoff, whether to expand it to 16 or if they don't, it'll stay at 12. The consensus appears to be they want to go to 16. Fine. The Big Ten keeps throwing out 24. So does Greg Sankey sit down with Tony Petitti and say, I'll back your 24, but it's got to be 3-4 years down the road. Let's pick 3. Because Sankey's going to be looking at a 2014 playoff and saying to himself, how many of my teams can I get in? Right now, just so everybody understands, the FCS, this is not an original idea.
Right.
The FCS, which Montana State just won, and by the way, they had 2.2 million viewers for that game on that Monday night. Pretty good number. They have a 2014 playoff. So 24 is not a new number. The FCS has done 2014 playoffs for, several years now.
Yeah.
It sounds gigantic because right now 12 feels big. 16, you can still fit 16 into the same weekend windows. You can't fit in 24.
No, you can't. That, I think, becomes a concern. That's the how far do you want to expand the season
now,
for college?
My opinion is you'd have to eliminate the championship weekend.
Which I think I'd be okay with. I think when you look at
that doesn't bother me.
No, it doesn't bother me at all. There's certain teams don't play a conference championship. They're not a conference champion, and they have a deep playoff run. Miami Hurricanes being one. They didn't win the ACC. They're in the national championship right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I would not.
They weren't even in the ACC championship game. They've never been.
Same with when Alabama won the title and beat LSU a couple of years back. Yeah, and then I wouldn't object to that at all. I think, would the conferences...
You think about that. Miami has not been in the ACC championship game ever.
Since they joined the ACC,
Ever. But yet tonight, that Monday night, they're in the national championship
exactly.
game. It's like, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But Ohio State wasn't in the Big Ten title game last year.
No.
Won the national championship.
Won the national title. So I think that would be because the money would be there.
Yeah, no matter what.
No matter what. So it doesn't matter, I think, having it, even though it – and you just would replace the ratings. If you have good matchups, the $18 million that Ohio State, Indiana got, the $16.5 million which Alabama and Georgia got, if you have the right matchups on that weekend to start out, you're going to get similar numbers to begin with anyway. So that's where they are right now. Can Tony Petitti, and I think he's going to have, if he's smart about this, give a little leeway to get what you want.
Right.
In other words, how many years out do you want to take this before we expand to 24? He and Sankey have to be the two to agree. Everybody else has to then join the party. Afterwards.
Sure, absolutely.
Don't be. My advice to him would be: don't sit there and say 2-3 years. Hear him out as to what he thinks, and then either come to a compromise or just sit back and say, you know what, we're going to eventually get what we want, so we'll go this route with assurances in writing that we're doing this. 24 is a lot.
It is, and I think 16 has got to be probably the next step to me. I think that the one that makes the most sense.
But they can't get to 16 unless they agree on the 24.
Yeah, absolutely, and that would be the biggest part for me. As far as you eliminate the championships, it's not as if. And look, each conference gets its own slot. There's no doubt about that, aside from the ACC, which Big Ten's going to have that primetime spot. But I don't think the conferences, as you said, I don't think they're going to object. And I don't think they'd even object to losing that TV rating because you're going to get it back with the playoff. So it's not as if you're going to lose it and completely just lose a day completely. It's not happening that way.
The NCAA basketball tournament, men's basketball tournament, 19% of the teams make the tournament.
Yeah.
19. If you go to 24, it's actually 17.5%.
Yep.
It's 17.5%. There's 136 Division I FBS teams.
Yeah.
So you would have 17.5% at 24. I mean, okay, right now it's 9%.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at the NFL playoff model. They're going to make the argument, well, only 7 teams make the playoff. No, 14 make the playoff. So I think that's where you're looking at it. So you have just about almost the threshold of half that make the playoffs. So it's not unrealistic to get to 24, but I think it's more realistic to inch your way up. That's one of the things the NFL did correctly, was inch their way up, went from 6 to 7. And lowered that bye week, which you're going to at some point have to do in college football as well if you're going to increase the playoffs. But that's the one thing I think people are looking at it and they're seeing the high number and they're seeing the NFL and saying, well, there's only 7 now. Think about the fact that both conferences are there, so it's 14.
Yeah. All right. So that's the next step. To get to 16 and to get the Big Ten vote, Greg Sankey and Tony Petitti have to talk about 24 because Petitti wants to talk about 24. We'll see. And go to 16. It's, to me, see how it works for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. Then if you want to
12 has obviously worked. I think you're excluding teams, but you're going to exclude teams if it's 45.
And my understanding is if they go to 16, there's a possibility that the top 2 teams actually get buys, that only 14 would play in the opening round. Thanks for listening to Sports Talk with Steve Jones. Catch the latest from me on the 7 Mountain Sports YouTube page. Find clips of the show on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by searching up 7 Mountain Sports.